Production.
Yo, what's good, guys? So I'm gonna go over some opportunities in the market, more opportunities, because there's so many names that I think are setting up or already ripping that I think there's good learning lessons in these stocks. Because, for example, we'll start off with SCR. This was a great learning lesson for identifying fear in the markets, because this whole period of time from, I guess it was the beginning of February until May, mid-May, we had a 70% drawdown. Now, if you're in, right, on SCR from the low, you don't really have to sell, because if you're long-term, I think this is setting up like a sweet pattern. And I believe that the Canadian bill got passed, but someone correct me because I could be wrong. I really don't know. It seems like there was a lot of bullish price action, and I'm assuming that that was from getting a Canadian legal one-line betting fully gone through by Senate or something like that. Somebody please correct me if I'm wrong, but I really do like what I'm seeing setting up here. So it's setting up like a massive triangle. It could just continue to fall through, but I'd be looking for a reaction at this trend line. Like, the reason why I use these trend lines and tools right on my charts is not to like look cool and stuff. It's to set boundaries, so then I know if this is healthy, or if it's reacting to it, I know that that's something bullish, right? So if I see a reaction at this bottom trend line and we start to curl up again, it doesn't guarantee anything, but it does help me make a decision if I want to get in the stock or not. That is a great area for me to buy in if I want to re-enter, right? Again, it's a great learning lesson, because if you do get in from the lows, there is no problem taking 600% gains if you happen to get in from the lows, right? Or 400, whatever you got. Like, it's okay to take gains. I try not to get too attached to a stock, but SCR is looking like it's setting up nice. The only thing I have worry about is like this big red volume day with the bearish engulfing candlestick kind of like gives me a warning. So I'm looking for pretty much, are we gonna start basing out sideways and kind of create like a higher low in retrospect to this new bullish move, right? We have from the low we make a high, and now we're going to make a higher low potentially, and then we're going to continue, right? That's what we want to see. That's what I'm looking for in SCR. I think it's super possible, because I think people are starting to forget about it. And when people start to forget about it, that's when it's going to start ramping up again. So pay attention to SCR. I got TBIX on here. The only reason why I'm bringing this up, I actually think this is pretty risky, because it's one like a penny stock whose company isn't really like well known, and I'm not sure how credible they are. So the only reason why I'm bringing this up is because I feel like at these levels, it's a good risk to reward opportunity. So I'll bring up this tool again, and you could risk a good 15% for a potential, right, 400% trade if it wants to get back up to its highs. Let's be a little bit more fair, and we'll say maybe up to here, a 300% trade. That's a sweet risk to reward opportunity. So that's why I think that this is a great stock to keep on to watch. If you look down here, we have massive bull volume coming in on the lows. That usually doesn't happen like any random reason. Like, there's got to be people in the know knowing, hey, I'm going to pick up down here. As you could see, we reached down here before and we had a massive run. What we could be seeing potentially is just maybe a big pattern that's about to play out, right? I got a bunch of shares on the low just to ride out, right? You can get them for cheap and you don't have to risk too much. You can make easy rules for yourself. If it breaks below this level, which I got marked out at 17.5 cents, if it breaks below with big red bear volume, that's telling you that it could definitely go lower. Right now, I'm in at such a low price, right, compared to the risk reward opportunity, that I'm willing to let this ride out and let it play out, right? And then, of course, manage your own risk. Like, only put in a certain amount of money that you can handle, whether that's $500, dude. If that's something you're willing to risk, that's fine. Like, the opportunity to triple, quadruple that is there. So I think TBIX is a good opportunity to to keep on the watch list. Now with fans, it's another similar chart to SCR. What I like, and the fundamentals behind fans and SCR are pretty much the same, right? Like you're pretty much investing in a company that is making money off legal sports betting, which just happened to be legalized in Canada. So that's like a bullish catalyst, you could say, right? But what I'm looking for here on fans, or what I wanted to highlight, is this, like, we have this massive move, right? Like starting from here, we have a massive push up, right? A 500% move, and then we correct back like a 40% drop. And then we have a triple bottom here. Like if you look real quick, we got that here, and we got another one right there. Triple bottom, what happens? We start shooting up again. Another thing I like is that it came back to retest this supply zone to make it a demand zone, right? These are just things I'm looking for in stocks that look healthy and provide trading opportunities, right? So if we keep dragging this across here, we're back at this level again. Like we want it to hold, right? But I'd also pay attention to here. Look, like that is a major demand zone. If we come back, what we want to see is we want to start a new trend, right? This was a downtrend, right, for a while, mid-February till June, right? We have a 74% drawdown. What we want to see is a new wave coming up. One, a pullback to make a higher low that's higher than this one. That shows strength in the stock. So we pull it back, and then we hope to see that next move up. That's what we want to see. That's healthy, right? Those are healthy signs to look for in stock. So the opportunity here, I don't see it right now. I want to see this base out first. But it's good to keep on the watch list because that potential could come up. So we got MMAT here. As you could see, right, this one went parabolic, right? It went from pretty much from June 10th to June 21st and went up almost 300%. What I don't like to see is how this day was a big bearish engulfing, and it just completely covers that day. And then we have a gap down, right? We could be seeing one of those where it was a nice pattern set up here. We shoot up too much too soon. And now what we could be looking for is it going to base out somewhere around this area? Who knows, right? I don't really like to play super volatile random names like this because it's kind of harder to predict, and sometimes things happen so fast that if you're not on it and you're not ready to sell in case this happens, then you might lose your gains on the way up. So I'm not necessarily saying this is a great opportunity for a buy, but like it's a good example to learn from, whether you happen to learn like, hey, if a stock goes that fast, that quick, and you want to take gains, it's never a bad idea to take gains. Of course not. Like I'm all about protecting capital. Like it's hard to make money in the markets if you just buy into something and you just let it ride thinking, oh, it'll go up one day. Unless that's like an Apple, an Amazon, a Microsoft, which I do have on this watch list, right? Doc, I wanted to bring this up, man. I brought this up the other day. I think this is in buy the dip mode. It is in buy the dip mode. This was a massive dip buy today. Massive. So we'll go into the 15-minute time frame, right? At the beginning of the day today, we flush down. Look at this bull volume come in and look at the rejection candle. If we look at the 5-minute time frame, it's crazy. So we flush down, but we get bought up real fast and we start to build a bullish pattern. I like what I see here. We could potentially still come down a bit, right? Overall, we still need to come and make a lower high. So it could do one of these where we shot up real fast and now it just needs to create that higher low and then continue its trend. I really like what I'm seeing in Doc here. Like I'm gonna have to get a position, so I'll be looking to watch this if a bull flag pattern kind of starts to begin here, right? We have that nice push up, and what I want to see is, are we gonna slide out this way for a bit and let the 8 EMA kind of regather itself, maybe balance over this supply here because it was once a supply zone? Are we going to make this now our demand zone, and this is where we buy from? So I'll be paying attention to that on Doc in the coming weeks. AMD, this one's a beast. If we look from the weekly time frame, right, this one looks nice. We are at a stall point though. I'll keep in mind this is a major supply zone. So we need to let it develop. We need to let it take time. Could it just go grind mode and just ride the 8 EMA all the way up? Sure. But this is a major supply up here. So it's don't ignore it. I do like what it's doing though, because it's like AMD is like, I have a bunch of AMD microchips in my computer, in my PC. Like a lot of people do. Like AMD is a big player in the semiconductor game. So don't sleep on this name. We've been trading sideways from 95-ish, like $100-ish, to 73 to $100 range for since last summer. 1 year trading sideways. What we might want to see here is we might need to make a higher low. So I've brought this up a few times in this video. We've made a nice push up. We might need to create that new higher low down here. But as long as we hang out closer and closer to this supply zone at $95, the more bullish it looks, right? So here's Microsoft. Look at this name, man. Do you really want to fight this? It's free money. If you buy dips on Microsoft, it's proven in the past that it's pretty much free money, at least since 2015, right? But even so, if you look at it, that's a massive cup pattern right here. We have a massive cup. So like bullish companies like this are a lot easier to make money because one, they're so credible. Microsoft is never going to leave. I'm pretty sure Microsoft version 11, Windows 11 is coming out soon or something like that. So that could be a catalyst that's going to drive Microsoft, who knows, right? $300 is probably the next target. If we look here, another triangle pattern. We play sideways in the triangle, we break out, we back test the triangle upper trend line, and then we run. This is what you want to look for in stocks. Like all this stuff, I'm not making this up. This is just opportunities. If you learn to eye them, this is why I love technical analysis, because I don't really need to know what the company's doing. The price and what the buyers and the sellers are telling me through creating behavioral patterns, right? Being able to identify fear, when to identify when something's about to start getting bought up, like TBIX in the volume. This is all just learning how to read buyers and sellers in a market. It applies to everything. So we move on and we got Wish here. This name is very interesting because like it has like meme characteristics to it in terms of like people love the hype. Look at this massive volume coming in, right? All of this big volume, but we're creating higher lows, right? High, higher low. Low, high, higher low. We come up, make a higher high. We've got a higher low right now. Are we going to start getting tighter and tighter into this supply zone? That's what we want to see, because then once we break over, we want to see it break over, back test, run. This name, man, like we have a potential inverse head and shoulders pattern shaping up. That's bullish for like a reversal in the stock's behavior, in the stock's trend. We want that to happen. This is what we want to see. So let it develop. This is my plan here. I want to be able to buy on dips, and I also want to buy if it breaks this $14 supply zone, because if it does, we will then eventually want to see the bull break, the back test, and the run. Keep your eyes on Wish. CBDT. Like, I really like this name. Just it's gone absolutely parabolic before. I'm not 100%. I believe it's a Vancouver grown company. They're starting to get into the more pharmaceutical marijuana, right? So in the States, once this is all legalized in the States, this company is expanding over to the States. They have a lot of companies and customers in the States. So the price action's telling me that if we can break over this 75-cent range, right? We look for spikes in bull volume, it's going to run. We only have really, like if we look at the volume profile here, there's really not much resistance above. Like once names have little resistance and they start running, it's so much easier for them to keep going. So we could, of course, this might be a major stall zone. So I'll keep in mind that up here, this might be where we want to take gains if this name does start to go nuts again, right? I'll be watching also its reaction at $1.41 because we did stall there in the past, right? If we look back right here, we got a nice candlestick at $1.40. So that trade in itself right there, that's 100%. That's a doubler. I like doublers. Like, sign me up. So I'll be looking at the break of this 73-cent range. And I just wanted to bring up this. So Zynga, man, like this is just another name. It's breaking out nice. Okay. Like massive triangle pattern. It was once in a supply zone. We break over, we backtest, we backtest, we backtest. We're starting to eventually curl up. I like it. Like, in my opinion, it's easy money. This name it's in a completely strong uptrend here, right? Since 2016. right now, let's use the trend as our friend and bank off Zynga. It's a lot easier than it really has to be. It is a lot less volatile of a name, right? It's not like AMC. You're not going to see it triple in a week or two, right? But it's, if you want to make a nice 30%, 25% trade, right? There's potential for that there, but you got to just keep your eye on these patterns and the ones that are showing you the healthy moves. Like it's solid. And now we're back at SCR. I also wanted to bring up Amazon just because this name is like, look at this. We've been trading sideways from 2,800 to 3,500 since last summer, since last July. So 1 year sideways, and then we start to make higher highs and higher lows into a supply zone. And now we get that bull break. Today was a massive day for Amazon. It's probably just going to keep running. I truly think that we might get a back test of this demand zone, right? Because we want to see, is it going to act as demand? It could come through, right? Could potentially fall through, come back there. But either way, as long as it starts holding this trend line we got here, I'm really liking it. I might have to regather some Amazon again. The opportunities are there. The reason why I wanted to show this is because it's a very strong company, a very strong bullish pattern, and like, don't fight the trend, right? Like, Amazon's been ripping up since forever. So there's no point of fighting it. Like, this is, to be fair, it's easy money if you have enough money to buy a share of Amazon. It doesn't matter, to be honest. Just look for these patterns in the market. So I wanted to share that with you guys today because there's crazy opportunities out here, man. So if you got your head on the swivel, you'll be ready. Peace, guys.